We're now moving on to the MLB, and don't be surprised, you shouldn't be. I'm going first. So, with the Mets, they went 0-6 on the week, got swept by the Dodgers, swept by the Cubs, an 0-6 homestand. The Mets have now lost 11 straight games for the first time since 2004.
Nice.
2004. Folks, I was 5 when that happened. I'm going to be 27 next month. That's pathetic.
A little bit.
Since 2004. That's 22 years ago. Okay, I'm going to read you some stats. Here's a look at the Mets team stats over their 11-game losing streak. Outscored 62-19.
Wow.
19 total runs. That's 1.7 runs per game. A 145 batting average with runners in scoring position. So much for acquiring clutch hitters. A 6.25 ERA, and they've been shut out 3 times. So with that all being said, I have some notes that I wrote down. Number 1, and this comes from Moneyball. The Mets right now are an island of misfit toys. That's what they are. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the FTB podcast. I am your host, Kristen Gulick. Alongside my co-host, Dom Savino, we will be discussing the week that was. The Knicks begin their playoff run with a win, getting ready for Game 2 tonight. The NFL Draft is this Thursday night, so we will be giving our takes on what the Jets and Giants should do with their respective picks. But lastly, and most importantly, what in the actual fuck is going on in Flushing, Queens? We will be addressing that panicked topic in a bit. But first, do me a favor, take a seat.
Let's talk.
Oh my God. My brother's friend Matt just sent me, or I should say my brother's friend Jordan just sent me and him a tweet in like an NL East chat. He's a Braves fan. We're obviously Mets fans. Luis Robert Jr. had a better win percentage on the White Sox than the Mets. God Lord. Okay. Anyway.
Sort of funny. Don't lie. It's a little funny. A little bit.
Yeah, it's all right. So just one announcement that we're gonna make. We went live for Game 2, Knicks Hawks. If you haven't watched it, please tune in. We gave our most honest takes on the game and what to expect for Game 3 in Atlanta. So if you haven't watched that, please watch it. We're obviously recording on a Monday, right before the game. So the episode will be out Tuesday evening. So we're going to go live. The game tonight, Monday night, is at 8 p.m. So we'll probably go live probably closer to 11. And then you guys, hopefully you tune in when we start. And if you don't, then we're obviously reminding you here on this episode. So just wanted to put that announcement out there. Dom, how was your weekend this past weekend?
It's pretty good. Knicks W.
Right.
Yankees swept the Royals.
Mm-hmm.
Life's good. Life is all good. Weather nice as hell still.
Mm-hmm.
Loving it.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry about your losses.
I mean, excluding baseball, my life is fine. My weekend is okay. If I just don't talk about baseball, I got nothing to complain about.
That's
But if
good.
you talk about baseball,
Good.
I have a lot to complain about, which, we'll get into, a little bit down the road here. I'll just say it now. The segment order that we're going in today is NBA. Makes perfect sense. It's the playoffs now. MLB and then NFL. My weekend was good. Saturday, as Dom said, great game. Knicks Hawks. Knicks cop the dub. And hopefully they cop it again here tonight to solidify home court advantage. Sunday I worked, but then right after work I had to go to 2 separate functions. Went to a birthday party for two of my closest friends since elementary school, Marco and Sam. They're both born on the same day. So shout out to them. Happy belated birthday. And today is my other good friend Andrew's 27th birthday today.
Oh shit!
So happy birthday to him. Shout out to him.
Happy birthday, Andrew.
Haven't seen him in a while. He's working his ass off down in Miami with his new job. Miss that kid. Haven't seen him in a while. I'll be talking to him actually done while I'm driving down to your house later. I'll be giving him a call while I'm driving. So shout out to those boys. So that was the first function. Then the second one was just my little cousin's communion. I don't remember having a massive communion party where the DJ introduces me and I go dance in front of people on the dance floor. I didn't know communion was like that. So
That communion's crazy.
yeah, I mean wild. So I was just looking around. I was like, is this how mine was when I was 8 years old? I was like, this is a lot. A DJ and you know making communion and shit. I was like, wow, that's great. I just hope my duck al orange is really good that I ordered. So
Were they
that's
popping
the
champagne
party.
at this fucking
Yeah,
community?
no, dude, I once I saw what was going on with the little kids, I just went to the bar. I was like, I'll take anything you got in the back. I'll take a Pinot Noir red wine, mix it with vodka, and she actually did it. So it was a good drink. I needed it. Yeah, dude, it was actually good. I never had it before. She goes, "You want to mix it with that?" I was like, "Mix it with what?" And she's like, "Some vodka." I was like, okay." She threw that in there. I was like, the meme of like the guy falling down and everything goes blurry. That was me. I was like,
We like
uh,
everyone that knows you, right? Like we all know that like you're crazy, but like you're an officially a psychopath now. I'm
I,
very,
listen,
very concerned.
listen,
I'm a little
listen.
bit concerned. Not,
I,
you know,
I I was just trying to have a good time, a little
you
couple
don't
adult
blame me,
beverage.
right? You don't blame me for being a little bit concerned, right? No,
Nah,
all right. You don't blame me. Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't know. I don't
You
know.
don't know.
Maybe, maybe not. I
Yeah.
don't know.
You don't blame me. There's no way you don't
Eh,
blame.
listen, I was just trying to have some adult beverages and have a good time. Is that a sin? I mean, who said that's the wrong thing to do? It's not a lot to ask,
I
Well,
mean,
I'm not committing a crime. It is
hey,
what it is.
you're a grown ass man. You can do whatever you want.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So that's everything with that. Just had to put all that out there. Obviously, Dom is very concerned, but
Uh huh.
I'll touch on baseball. That's going to be very concerning. We'll get into that a little bit down, but we are going to start with the NBA as it is fitting with the playoffs now beginning. The Knicks win game one, and I got to tell you, I know the Hawks went on their little 11-0 run towards the end of the game, but let's call it a spade, folks. I wasn't exactly that worried. It was kind of when, the starters were a bit gassed. I knew they were going to stay in there because it's the playoffs. You just never know when it's going to get close. And even a 15, 20 point lead is not safe in this day and age for the NBA. So they went on a little run, but the Knicks closed it out. They won by 11, 113, 102. Brunson started off hot in the first half, but he cooled down a bit in the second half. And I'll just start with that. And Cat's defense was probably the best we've seen all year. Thank God this was the time to show it. But I'm going to let Dom go first and give his analysis. Dom, take it away, pal. And he puts the hat on as he begins his nice little spiel. That's nice. Perfect time for you.
You have to. You have to.
Yeah.
You know, it was a great overall game from everyone. And also, by the way, like before I say anything about the Knicks, the Hawks look terrible.
Yeah.
Like they look
Not good.
really bad. Like I'm sure every single like both of us, and I'm sure a lot of like diehard Knicks fans were like concerned, about this series. They're a tough team though. Like, they can score, they're very aggressive, they play good
Yeah,
defense.
but Dom, I don't
And
mean to cut you off, but since you brought it up, I have to say this. The way that they played on Saturday, they make me look like an idiot. Because I said
yeah, me
last
too.
week, I know, I said last week that the second round was going to be harder than the first. Watching that game on Saturday, one could argue, you could say, I don't know what this kid's talking about because the Hawks played that bad on Saturday.
They were
Sorry, go
awful.
ahead.
So bad. And like we were thinking about these pick and roll schemes that were gonna happen, that, the secret, that they were keeping all year. And it paid off. I mean, obviously Jalen Brunson scored 19 points in the first quarter, which was the most in franchise history for a playoff game, by the way.
Mhm.
Uh, I mean, I think every single person that was really looking into the series and even the playoffs in general were looking for that pick and roll scheme, especially with Brunson and Cat. And also, it felt good to see even Mitch be in the pick and roll schemes as well. I mean, the one play that really came to mind was when Jordan Clarkson threw an alley oop to Mitch later on in the game, which I couldn't believe. Jordan Clark passing, number one, is crazy, and number two, Mitch catching a ball and actually dunking it. That's blew my
Mhm.
mind. But
Mhm.
but anyway, Cat, he scored 19 of his 25 points in the second half, went 6 of 13. He wasn't shooting a lot, but he played good defense, like you said, and he was facilitating the ball. I mean, he had a couple of turnovers, but he was finding the right man and the open player. He had 3 blocks and a steal, 3 of 4 from 3, and he went 10 of 10 perfect from free throws. I mean, when you're making your free throws, that's always something that you wanna really pay attention to when it comes to the Knicks, because it seemed like all year they couldn't make shit from the free throw line. So that was very good to see. Overall game, a great overall game by OG. Defending everyone 1 to 5, scored 18, 6 to 9 shooting, 2 or 3 from 3. In the first half, the transition defense was terrible. And I don't know what the fuck Mike Brown said second half, but whatever he said, it worked. They looked like a completely new team in the second half, which was always good to see. Josh Hart, he did very well defending Jalen Johnson, by the way. If you noticed
Mhm.
that, Chris,
Mhm.
he was very good. And, he was probably our biggest concern out of all the players, Jalen Johnson, even though there is other good players on the team, like Alexander and Dyson Daniels and all that. But Jalen Johnson, he didn't really do anything, really. He didn't really do that great. Um,
Yeah.
you know, Josh Hart had 11 points and 14 boards. That's something that we need from him, especially if Mitch isn't on the court. And you can't expect, even though Cat is 7 foot, you can't expect him to get every damn rebound. So that's
Mhm.
always good to see there. And then Deuce McBride, he didn't really have a great offensive game, but he played really good defensive side of the ball. He was very aggressive, getting to his spots. Shamit, he did not have a good shooting night at all, but I'm going to remind everyone that he needs to keep shooting the damn ball. I don't care if I don't care if he missed 5 or 6 shots, whatever. Keep shooting the damn ball. We're going to need it. And then someone who was off this rotation not too long ago, Jordan Clarkson. Big lift off the bench. 8 points in 11 minutes. That's pretty impressive for someone who didn't really play that much this year in just
Mhm.
very little time frames. So that was always good. And then the last thing I'll say about the Knicks is about the Hawks is that they're going to come out hot game 2.
Mhm.
They're going to try and push the pace. They're going to be aggressive on defense. You know, Whoever it is, their main scorer, if it's Alexander or Johnson or Daniels, whatever, they're going to try and be like Jalen Brunson last game, trying to come out hot. Just shooting and shooting, going to the lane. They might even full court press in this first quarter of this game. And they know that they need to win this game or they're technically screwed. Because I don't think anyone is going to expect the Hawks to come back down 2-0. That would be a big shock to everyone. But the Knicks, they know what they're going to be up against today. Everything's going to be more aggressive. And I'm sure they're going to have a way better shooting night than last game. I don't think it's going to be a game that they're going to be winning by 11 by. Probably going to be a little bit closer than that. But this is going to be a really hard game tonight.
Mhm. I agree. And there's a few things that you just said that I will also be touching on too. So as I already said, Jalen Brunson started off hot in this game, really hitting everything. I mean, having what was it, 19 points in the first quarter.
I think
I
he,
mean,
I think he was 6 of 6 from the start.
that's insane.
Crazy.
So have that kind of start, I was shocked. I wasn't surprised that he cooled off. I was talking to one of my coworkers about the game today, and he was like, maybe they should have tried to take him out for a little bit. But you know what? It's Jalen Brunson. He'll always figure it out. I haven't been confident in a player really since Carmelo Anthony. That's the last guy I've been this confident in that he'll always figure it out. Cat's defense, as I already said, was just on point. And Dom, what did we say before this series started? They got to take advantage of the size. I said it. Atlanta does
Yep.
not have it. They do not have the size of Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns. And Cat clearly was just oversized on the Atlanta Hawks. So taking advantage of that was huge. There was, though, Dom, one big key from Saturday night's win. So CJ McCollum hits Jalen Brunson in the, what do we want to say?
Groin.
Private parts, the restricted area,
Yep.
the family jewels, however you want to put it, got rocked in there. And I don't know if you heard what CJ McCollum said. I was shocked he even said this because he's a pretty respected guy and he's been like leading the players union for a while. He said, "Oh, he was acting like he was on Broadway." Buddy, you hit him in the nuts. What? Well, what is he supposed to do? Say, "Hey, thanks," and then go back on what? Go on offense? What? You hit him in the nuts.
You can't really flop that. Can't really
Anyway,
flop getting hit in the
yeah,
nuts.
I don't I couldn't believe he said that. So, when that happened, Rick Brunson, the coaching staff, whoever, I saw Rick Brunson going to talk to JB, making sure he's okay. But I do believe that was a big part of why the Knicks let Karl Anthony Towns shoot the free throw. Did you notice, Tom, how they let Cat shoot the free throw? You could say, well, they were giving Jalen Brunson some time to recover. That's fine. But right after he made that free throw, he then made a far 3-point shot. And then he just kept on scoring from that point on. So what
Yep.
I'm trying to say is the Knicks said, hey, this is our opportunity to get our $60 million man going by letting him shoot the free throw. And that was the best decision the Knicks made all night.
Yep.
Because listen, Cat said it. And honestly, I think it was a good answer. He said in the post game, I haven't played in a week and a half. I'm rusty. I haven't played in a live game since the Raptors game, and that was last Friday night. That was over a week ago. He's like, so I haven't played in over a week. So, yeah, I was a bit rusty to start. But once he got back into his groove with scoring, he was fine. But he even said the second half, he was making some shots. He was seeing the ball go in, and his confidence was going up, and he just kept on plowing through. And, of course, that and one when he drove to the basket really lit a fire in MSG. So
Yep.
that was great, but that was the one big key that I saw from there. This is the playoff defense we needed, but I will say one thing. The bench needs to do a little better job avoiding easy fouls. That's Landry Shamet. I mean, I've said it 50,000 times. I texted it to my brother. I texted it to Dom. I said it in our Knicks group chat. It's me, Dom, and a few of my town friends. Jordan Clarkson needs to look up the word defense because he still has yet to find out what defense means.
Doesn't make
Dude,
sense.
stop with the shit fouls. Play some defense. Move your feet. Stop playing defense with your hands. You're going to get called every time. You've already developed a reputation in the league of being a real bad defender. You have to find a way to stop committing these blatant, stupid fouls. And Shamet was doing it. Miles McBride was doing it. Jordan Clarkson, the three names that we mentioned off the bench that have to be key for when Jalen Brunson's not on the court for the Knicks to succeed in this playoff run. So, yes, the defense was great. Cat, best defense I've seen all year. OG, you could see why now the Knicks pay him what they pay him. Josh Hart, great defense. Even Brunson had a couple of steals.
Yeah.
But the bench defense needs to do better. It can't just be all on Mitchell Robinson. Others have to help him out.
For sure.
Josh Hart had a great game, especially rebounding, and he scored, I believe, 11 points, I think.
Yep. 14.
But, yeah, 14 rebounds, which for a 6'4" guy, I mean, everyone knows he's the best 6'4" rebounder in the league. No one's ever seen it like him before. But he's still a little too careless with the ball. He was trying to pass it and it kept on going out of bounds. And it could have been a stolen, could have been a steal, could have been a turnover multiple times. He needs to be a little more cautious when he has the ball, and especially when if you're not going full speed down to the hoop, you got to watch behind you because the ball got stolen from him at least once, maybe twice, when he wasn't noticing and somebody was right up his ass. So he's got to be a little more careful with the ball and not commit, really, frankly, any turnovers if possible.
Yeah,
Mitchell Robinson is the best bench player in the playoffs. Argue with a wall. The guy comes in, offensive rebounds. Of course, that's his MO. That's what he's known for. His free throw shooting, yeah, we already know it's not great. He at least made 1 out of 4. Another doing hack a Mitch. He's got to keep on working on his free throws if he wants to stay on the court for more than 10 minutes, essentially. But he is the best bench player in the playoffs. But Dom, you mentioned it with Jordan Clarkson. I got to see more alley oops.
yeah,
It was the first thing you said. Jordan Clarkson did it, but I also had seen him do it in the regular season, Dom.
yeah. I have,
But
yeah.
Jalen Brunson and Mitch are on the court for at least a little bit of time. You have Mitch there. You're doing pick and rolls. Please throw the ball up to the guy. If he doesn't catch it, okay. You do it a couple of times. He doesn't catch either one. Well, now you know I can't do alley oops. It's resulting in a turnover. But you don't know until you try. So
Yeah.
you got to try some alley oops. I mean, the guy can't shoot. He can rebound, but as I said last week, rebounding and dunking are really the only two things Mitchell Robinson is really good at. And you got to utilize his strengths if you want to win and win big in these playoffs, especially if they move on to the second round. And I mean, I watched Boston Philly. I mean, that was a joke of a game yesterday. I don't know what I was watching. I thought it was, I don't know. I thought it was like a 20-year-old playing against a 10-year-old. I mean, that's how bad the game was yesterday. But that's really what that was for everything with that game. And what I'll say now is tonight, as Dom said, tonight's a big one. You have to send the message to the Hawks that you're looking to wrap this up sooner than later, and you're looking to claim home court advantage. This is a big game.
Mm.
You need to start off fast, just like you did on Saturday. I know the Hawks were trying to keep it close, but the Knicks were really revving up the engine more in the third quarter than in the first and the second. And the Knicks showed why they're the best fourth quarter team in the NBA, and they closed the door. In the playoffs, closing a game is hard, but closing the series is 10 times harder. And you got to be a good closer in order to win championships. And you got to do it from round one all the way to hopefully as we expect from the expectations of the Knicks owner in the finals when you if and when you get there. So tonight's a big game. Send the message, claim home court advantage. Don't let that door open at all for the Hawks to creep in. But that's really everything I got from game 1 on the Knicks. Tom, how are you?
So one thing we didn't talk about is Cat. He did good, but he still had 5 fouls.
Yeah, true.
It
Yes.
can't happen. I'm sorry. Like I know, you're the center. Everyone's coming at you and with every angle and trying to bait you and whatever. But you can't be doing this. You really can't. I mean, I know we won by 11, but still, what's gonna happen next series? Let's say we do win this series, right? And then we go to next series. What's gonna happen then? Is it still gonna be the same thing where it's gonna be foul trouble? Because still, I mean, hopefully the Hawks don't do it tonight, but they didn't really go at Brunson on defense,
No.
and that's
No.
what fucked us over last year in the playoffs. Him being in foul trouble is the worst thing that could happen to us as a team.
Mhm.
They
Yeah,
haven't figured out that recipe yet, and hopefully they don't. But I'm sure if we play the Celtics or whoever next round, they're gonna figure that out, and then we're gonna need Cat on the floor. So he can't be doing this.
I'm going to be honest. I think the biggest game plan that the Atlanta Hawks are going to put together for tonight's game, I think they are going to try to utilize Okongwu on offense against Cat as much as possible.
He might not play. He's questionable tonight.
Is he really?
He's questionable.
With what?
Think his right knee inflammation or something.
Really? That would be a massive blow to the Hawks
Yep.
because Okongwu was lighting it up from three. and Cat's defense was good, but it was only good in the paint and at mid range. On the perimeter, Cat was cooked.
Let's see
And
if
if
let's see.
Okongwu is not playing, that's a big piece of their game plan that's now out the window.
So as of right now, he is going to participate in shoot around.
Okay, interesting.
So it's more likely a game time decision.
I think he's gonna play.
Yeah, it is. It is right knee inflammation.
Yeah, if he does play, look out for Okongwu to be shooting a lot behind the arc, or at least trying to, drive and commit fouls on Cat so that Cat's in foul trouble early. That's the game plan. Because and I'm glad you brought up the Hawks again because I meant to say that I didn't write it here, so I forgot. But you kind of reminded me. That is the big thing that the Hawks are going to try to do. Yes, going after JB to put him in foul trouble, but you could easily just shift him over to the shooting guard position and put Miles McBride or whoever with Brunson. But Cat, you would have to have Mitch and Cat both together on the floor, but then it'd be Hack a Mitch, but at least you're saving Cat on his fouls.
Exactly.
But Hack a Mitch and at least Mitchell Robinson would be more in the paint than Cat would be. But yeah, if Okongwu's playing, which I do expect him to play regardless, they're going to utilize him for 3-point shooting against Cat.
One last thing that doesn't even involve the Knicks,
Mm.
but what's really intriguing is this Pistons Magic series.
I know.
That is going to
Yeah.
be that's going to go down the wire, down to the wire for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, the Magic, the thing is that they're a sneaky team. I mean, the Knicks have seen the Magic in the regular season at full strength. When the Magic are at full strength and they're hitting their shots and they're playing solid defense, they are a very hard team to beat. And that's why, when the season started, Dom said the Eastern Conference is sneaky. It's got some underdogs there. We mentioned Dom mentioned the Magic, I mentioned the Heat. There are some teams there. And I know the Heat aren't in anymore, obviously, thanks to Charlotte, and now Charlotte's not in either because the Magic took care of them. But when the Magic are right and they make their shots and they're fully healthy, they're dangerous. And I'm not honestly, everyone's like, wow, 8 seed beat the first seed. I'm not that surprised. I know what the Magic are capable of. They have good players. They're a good young team. I wasn't surprised at all. I wasn't.
You know, I'm sure if Paolo was on a good market team, we'd be talking about him way more.
Mm-hmm.
Desmond Bain got experience.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen, don't sleep on Jalen Suggs either.
Yep.
I think he's a two-time national champion, if I'm not mistaken. Like they know how to win. Like Paolo went to Duke. I don't know if this is his second playoff appearance, maybe third. Paolo,
Yeah, something like that.
but like they know how to play. They know
Yeah.
what to expect in the playoffs, and last year was Detroit's first year, but they're all still young. And
Mm-hmm.
Cade, he struggled last year in the playoffs. And yeah, we had a feeling that it was going to be harder for the Pistons than we thought. But I mean, ever since Cunningham got hurt, they just didn't look the same at all.
No, no,
And
he's the head of the snake, just like Brunson is for the Knicks.
yeah,
And Dom, it's not like Cade. It's not like Cade had a bad game. He scored 39 points.
yeah.
He put
No,
up
he
39.
played good. He had a
He
good
played
game.
good. Yeah. So it's just the Magic came to play. That's simple. That's what
And their
happens.
their defense didn't look that sharp.
Who's Detroit?
Right.
Yeah, no. No, I watched the highlights this morning. Okay. So that's everything with the Knicks and the NBA. Of course, game 2 is tonight at MSG, 8 p.m. on NBC/Peacock. It's actually going to be Iron Eagle's son announcing it with Jamal Crawford. Very excited for
Oh,
that, actually.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So Jamal Crawford's a fantastic analyst. I love when he's on MSG. He gets some game slots in there for the regular season. Does a great job. So that's going to be nice to hear. But that's everything with the NBA. And we're now moving on to the MLB. And don't be surprised. You shouldn't be. I'm going first. Dom will not be going first. Nobody should be shocked by this. Second straight week, I'm going first.
I
For
wish I
the
had I wish I had your wine and vodka right now. Just sip on it.
I I need another round of it with what I got to say about this travesty of a team. So with the Mets, they went 0-6 on the week, got swept by the Dodgers, swept by the Cubs, an 0-6 homestand. The Mets have now lost 11 straight games for the first time since 2004.
Nice.
2004. Folks, I was 5 when that happened. I'm going to be 27 next month. That's pathetic.
A little bit.
Since 2004. That's 22 years ago. Okay, I'm going to read you some stats. Not going to bore you with them. There's not that many, trust me, because I can read all the stats I want. 11-game losing streak says it all. This is from Sleeper Mets on Twitter. Here's a look at the Mets team stats over their 11-game losing streak. Outscored 62-19.
Wow.
19 total runs. That's 1.7 runs per game. A 200 batting average. So they're batting Mendoza line numbers. A 145 batting average with runners in scoring position. So much for acquiring clutch hitters like Bo Bichette and Jorge Polanco, who is now on the IL with a wrist injury, along with his Achilles tendonitis that he's nursing right now. A 6.25 ERA, and they've been shut out 3 times. And Sleeper Mets wrote to end it off here, need to blame the players. So with that all being said, I have some notes that I wrote down.
Let's hear it.
Okay, I edited it today, but I wrote this, I believe, on Friday or Saturday. Who knows? Frankly, who cares? The notes here. Number 1, and this comes from Moneyball, what Jonah Hill said. The Mets right now are an island of misfit toys. That's what they are. Bo Bichette, not playing his normal position. Luis Robert Jr. is brand new here. Carson Bench looks like he doesn't fit in. He's a rookie who got brought into the roster really, I mean, from what people are saying, because Mike Topman got hurt. Yeah, he played well in spring training, but a lot of people didn't want him to be on the roster, but I'm still defending him. But after a while, it's very hard to defend a guy who really just can't hit at all. His defense is okay. It could be better, but it's all right. Jorge Polanco's new. He's now injured. I mean, Juan Soto is now in his second year with the team, still not back. He's been on the injured list since what? Maybe the 5th, 6th, 7th game of the season. The pitching rotation is fairly similar, but your frontline starter is brand new. The clubhouse is not really gelling. Francisco Lindor just doesn't look like himself. Doesn't look like a leader this season. Of course, with his stats and his poor defensive and offensive play, very hard to be a leader, as I told Dom last Monday. Very hard to be a leader when you're yourself is not playing well. Okay? There's just a lot of guys who are kind of just seeming to be on their own. That's really what an island of misfit toys is all about. Because they don't know where to put themselves, and they just don't look like they're fitting in. There's too much newness going on within the team. So that's number 1. Number 2, I do not want to hear the word if anymore. I don't want to hear if he's healthy, if he's this, if he's that. I got news for you. I'd be a millionaire if I lived off if my whole entire life. If I won the lottery, if I invested in that stock, if I had done that pre-COVID, if I had done that post-COVID, I'd probably be a millionaire. Probably wouldn't even be doing this right now. Who knows? If I lived in the world of if, a lot of things would be different.
You're telling me, bro.
the word if out of your vocabulary. Don't want to hear it anymore. You are what you are, a shitty baseball team. That's what you are. You have the worst record in the major leagues. You're 7-15. Actually, not even behind, in front, the team that the Yankees just swept, the Kansas City Royals, who another team is right now playing under expectations. And don't get me wrong, the Phillies aren't doing good either. I don't know, they just got swept by the Braves. And the Braves, but we warned people, the Braves are too talented to repeat last year. We said this. I am not surprised whatsoever. But please, get the word if out of your vocabulary. Enough with it. Nobody wants to hear it anymore. Number 3, this losing streak is more concerning than anybody thinks. Because the year that I mentioned that they went on an 11-game winning streak, Dom, 2004, you think the Mets were expecting to win anything?
No.
They were rebuilding.
Yep.
It was Jose Reyes is what? Not even a full second year in the league. He got called up in 2003, and David Wright got called up in 2004. Mets weren't going anywhere in 2004. And then all the other times were in the 60s before they won the World Series in 69. 1962. That was the inception of the Mets. Where the fuck were they going? They just started playing baseball.
Yep.
What do you mean? So this is a team that had expectations to win it all. Me saying that sounds like an absolute joke, which is how everyone's playing right now. But now they're playing the Twins. The Twins are a 500 ball club. They're 11-11. Somebody wrote, oh, this is a big opportunity for them. This 9-game homestand. We're the worst team in the major leagues. Well, what are you talking about? They're looking at us like this is a cakewalk. I don't know what you're thinking. But the losing streak right now is a lot worse than what you think because of the other years that this happened with how those rosters were. They weren't built to win it all. So it's more concerning than you think, bottom line. Number 4, stop waiting for Juan Soto. He's one guy. He don't pitch. He doesn't play defense on the infield. And he's not the savior. He's one guy. Yeah, he'll help you. He'll get some hits here and there. But he's not going to score every run. He's not going to get every RBI. He's not the savior. One player can't do it all. That's a reason why this isn't tennis. This isn't golf. It's not a one-player sport. Everyone else has got to do their job. It's like what Keith Hernandez said in his Mets Hall of Fame, whatever it was, Mets Hall of Fame introductory speech that he had 4 years ago. This July will be 4 years ago. I was one of 25 players on the roster. That's what it is. I don't care how talented you are. You're one of 25. Everyone else has got to do their part. Everyone's got to pull their own weight if you want to win a championship. And that's in basketball, that's in football, that's even in hockey. We don't talk about hockey, but the Rangers looked freaking awful this season. I couldn't watch them at all. I watched the first half of the season once the All-Star break came. I phased out. I was just watching basketball and getting ready for baseball. I mean, now looks like I'm just going to be watching basketball playoffs and getting ready for, I don't know, the football and hockey season, but Lord knows the Jets are going anywhere. We'll talk about football down the line here. But back to, I'm digressing a bit. Backing to number 4, Juan Soto can't be the savior. He's one player. Can't happen. And number 5, the last thing I'll say that's on my list of notes here. David Stearns may need to come up with a new strategy like a portfolio manager investing in stocks. Your strategy is not working. You have to change it. When my first job out of grad school, I was working in Miami Beach. I was working for a brokerage firm called Stiefel. My boss, not going to name names, my boss came up to me. He said, this year and last year, the last couple of years, my investment strategy hasn't been working. Maybe I got to change it. That's called looking in the mirror. And let's just put it how it is. David Stearns may need to look at himself in the mirror, because what he's putting together is just not doing it for anybody who roots for the Mets. The fans, okay, it's very simple. Bear with me now, okay? The fans are your clients, okay? Your players are your workers. So Steve Cohen came from a hedge fund. Hedge funds generally, I'll give some financial knowledge here. Hedge funds generally only last 10 to 15 years. It's they run on a short-term investment scale. Steve Cohen said, I'm looking to get a ring within the first 5 years. Well, 5 years are up. So he's late. And if you're late with when you're investing in a hedge fund, guess what? People ain't calling you anymore. And you're not generating any capital. It's not good. You start failing. And then guess what happens to the hedge fund? See you later. Bye-bye. So he's not going to take this year after year. The fans are your clients. You have to please your clients. And a portfolio manager, if his clients are not bringing in profit and they're losing money quarter after quarter, month after month, year after year, guess what? They're going to take their money and they're going to go somewhere else. So fans are your clients. The clients aren't getting what they're looking for, which are wins. And your workers aren't cutting it. So guess what? You would have to fire your client. You have to fire your workers. But the problem is in sports, your workers make too much money. So now who gets the shit end of the stick? The manager. Which again, I put out a poll on a community post on YouTube. When's Carlos Mendoza going to go? Or if he is going to go? It was yes, mid-June. Yes, earlier than mid-June. Yes, after mid-June. Or no, he's going to be here this season. Telling you right now, B looks like the best answer. He's going to be fired before mid-June.
Yep.
Someone's got to fall on the sword.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be Carlos Mendoza. You're paying Bichette $42 million this year. You're paying Lindor $34.1 million this year. Juan Soto's been hurt, but you're paying him a pretty frickin' penny. You're paying Jorge Polanco $20 million. You're paying Luis Robert Jr. $20 million. I mean, the only person that you're not really costing much is Carson Bench. That's it. And Semien, with his contract from Texas, he's making a pretty penny. And with all the pitching staff. Freddie Peralta's the only guy. Nolan McLean, well, yeah, no kidding. He's in the same tax bracket as Carson Bench because he's young and he's a rookie still and he's new. But Freddie Peralta's the only guy making, a low-hanging salary of $8 million. But everybody else getting paid big bucks to play here. So, David Stearns, look at yourself in the fucking mirror. Realize that you have to change your strategy, just like a portfolio manager has to when they have investors and clients, and figure it out. Because if this team, you can fire whoever you want to fire. If this team ain't making the playoffs, you got to go. You can't stay here. Or, as I said last week, Steve Cohen, get your checkbook out, and you're going to have to hire another person under him or above him who actually knows what the fuck they're doing. That's it. 11-game losing streak. Is it going to be 12 on Tuesday? Nolan McLean's pitching, so something kind of tells me in the air that they'll probably break it because Nolan McLean is a fantastic pitcher, and maybe with the Mets being at home, they'll figure out something. But I'll tell you right now, no one's going to be at that game. I'm expecting that stadium to be empty as hell. Kind of like when the Mets started out 0-5 in 2024. That empty. That's what I'm expecting. So it could go to 12 because you don't have the fans behind you. Why would they pay? If anything, the ticket should be 50 cents. Why would they pay? So this is where they're at. But Steve Cohen is a hedge fund guy. Okay? 17% return from 0.72 last year. 17%. Hedge funds are lucky to see 5. And you're doing an amazing job if you see 10. That man saw 17. He wants wins. He's a winning person. He's a successful guy in the finance industry. I just don't see him keeping David Stearns here. after this season if they don't make the playoffs. Bottom line. And honestly, that's everything that I got to say right now.
So I mostly have questions because I agree with everything you said. I mean, you're not wrong on one thing, and obviously also you know a lot more about Mets than I do. But I know people are going to take this as me being a Lindor hater because I am. I am because he's been pissing me off since last year, and I'm gonna ask, how long, as a Met fan, how long could you take all the bullshit of slow starts? And I don't want to hear that he's still hurt. I don't want to hear it anymore. If he's if he could run, if he can get caught sleeping on the Bates paths or forgetting how many outs there are, that's not because of his shoulder or whatever the fuck he hurt, his elbow, whatever it was. How long, as a Met fan, do you take of this bullshit of having a slow start to every single season he played?
Well, it's interesting, right? You can take it. There are a lot of things that go wrong, but and of course, almost everything has gone wrong. There are certain things that you can accept if your team's winning. So, 2024, he didn't start off great, right? They obviously got very frustrated that he didn't start off well that season because they weren't winning, right? By the end of May, they were 11 games under 500. They had that pitcher, Jorge Lopez or whatever his name was, throw his glove into the stands, really making the franchise look pathetic. Right now, with how everything has gone, no, people are even talking about getting rid of Francisco Lindor, getting him traded out of here.
Would you?
Uh, I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. And it's really because of other things that have been rumored outside of the team. And also him
Like with
just
the clubhouse, like
not
with clubhouse stuff.
clubhouse demeanor, not looking like, he's very confident, kind of just trying to go through the motions, doing it day by day. Could he step out of it? He's got the talent to do it. He's got the wherewithal to do it, but you got to see it. Can't just talk about it. You got to prove it on the field. But right now, from what we've seen and what's transpired this first, what's today? April 20th?
Yeah.
For almost the first, 3, 4 weeks of the season, there's not much hope from a lot of people that are looking at him. And now people are saying, oh, they should have taken the deal to get, Xander Bogaerts and Mason Miller. Listen, you don't make a deal. You can't, hindsight's always 2020. You can't make a deal back then when the guy is really helping your team out and he's part of an MVP race potentially. But right now, yeah, nobody's making excuse about his handmate bone surgery and his hand injury and his elbow injury. Nobody's using that as an excuse because everyone's saying Francisco Lindor's got to put the team on his back and he's got to lead the offense right now because nobody's doing it. Somebody's got to do it. But this team just looks phased out. And right now, what makes it look even worse is that their defense isn't looking run preventative. Right? Everyone's saying, "Oh, wow, this really is the definition of run prevention from David Stearns." How could that be? Yeah, because it's not. So, a lot of things are coming down on this franchise and on this front office because this is just 11-game losing streak. They haven't won. Literally, it's going to be 2 weeks tomorrow. They don't play today. So even if they win tomorrow, it's going to be 2 weeks since they last won. Devin Williams has barely pitched. Barely.
Yeah.
And he was answering questions in the locker room. Guy hasn't pitched. Well, what is he going to answer?
Yeah. Like
I mean, he actually gave a great answer. He gave a great answer yesterday. He was like, I don't want to blame Carlos Mendoza. He doesn't pitch. He doesn't hit. He doesn't swing a bat. He doesn't throw a baseball. It's true. You do have to blame the players. It's just unfortunate that Mendoza is going to have to fall on the sword. And honestly, from how whatever he does behind the scenes, we'll never know unless we have somebody in there getting the intel for us. But from what we see on the camera, Everyone's like, I want Terry Collins because Terry Collins shows more emotion than this fucking guy. It's the same answers day after day, week after week. That's another big problem. It's that Mendoza looks more of like a player friendly manager, somewhat of along the lines of Buck Showalter when he was here. And look, he was only here for 2 years, and he was gone. He was shipped out of here once David Stearns got hired. Back on September 2023. So something's going to have to give. But Mendoza's going to be as good as gone real soon, especially if they don't win tomorrow. But regardless if they win or not, it's going to be 2 weeks tomorrow since they last won. That's insane. When you play baseball every day, that's insane.
Crazy. Yeah,
That's it. I don't got anything else. I think we talked enough about the Mets. Tom, please go talk about the Yankees. At least they win.
The Yankees. I don't know if you've seen any of this series against the Angels, Chris, but I have no idea what the fuck I was watching.
Oh, it was bad.
I'm very glad that they were hitting,
Yeah.
but I mean, this pitching has been terrible. I mean, Max Fried even had a bad game. I think he threw like 5 1/3. He gave up 5 runs, 3 walks, gave up a homer. And then the same game, Yarborough, that was the last game of the season. Of the series. Ryan Yarborough gave up 4 runs in 2 innings in the bullpen. Luis Hill, he started a game, another god-awful game, which was the third game. It was 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks. He gave up 3 home runs in 5 innings. God-awful. I mean, it's good that he came up because he was ready then. They got sent down, then he came back. But I think after the first start or the second start, you should have got him the fuck back down. But no, just keep on throwing bad games. No, bad games. We split this series against the Angels. In the first game, it was 11-10. Mike Trout, he came back. I don't know where the fuck he's been for a few years, but he's back. What do you have? 4 home runs in this series?
Yeah.
Like, unreal. One game, he matched Aaron Judge. They both hit 2 home runs each. That was the first game. Yeah, that was the first game. But still a whole lot of bad pitching. I mean, Jose Caballero, I'm glad he did good. In that first game, he had 2 hits and 2 ribbies, and he batted 400 on the series. And he was someone that I was talking shit about last week because he really wasn't doing anything. And then another person, in the second game of the series, Ryan Weathers. He had
Dude, he's terrible.
well,
I mean, he is Dom. I meant I was gonna forget about text. I was gonna call you. I was like, dude, I can't watch this guy pitch.
well, he did a whole 180, but I'll get to that in a minute. But in the game against the Angels, he had the definition of a Ryan Weathers game. He gave up 5 runs, 5 hits, 4 home runs.
Yeah.
But he struck out 10 players. That's the definition of a Ryan Weathers game.
How do you even have that kind of stat line?
Don't know. I have no clue.
I don't know.
I can't tell you. I have no idea. But there was just a whole clusterfuck of shit that happened in that series. A lot of good and a lot of bad, mostly on the defensive side of the ball. Jazz still really isn't doing anything in both series. Really hasn't done shit. And Ben Rice, best player on the team as of right now. Aaron Judge did good in both series. He's getting there. More better with the Angels in the Royals series, but I'm gonna get to the Royals in a second. But yeah, it's just a whole lot of things still that aren't right. But one series against the Angels and one series against the Royals went completely different. Everything got turned around. Ben Rice, he's definitely gonna have the best year of his career, and I honestly can't see him stopping anytime soon. I mean, I don't think anyone can. He batted 400 in the Royals series, had 3 home runs, 4 hits, 4 ribbies, and scored 5 times and walked 4 times. I mean, what more can you ask of somebody, right? Bellinger had a multi-home run game. 5 hits in total in the series, 5 ribbies, walked 3 times, 455 batting average.
Hmm.
And honestly, this is really bad because I think the world is ending and my head is hurting me before I even say anything. Ryan McMahon hit a go-ahead home run in the bottom of the 8th inning of a game. I couldn't believe it. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe someone spiked my drink, like my mother. Maybe she spiked my water or something. I have no idea. I was in shock. We're down. It was tie game, 2-2, bottom of the 8th, and Ryan McMahon looked like a casual pop fly to left field. Somehow made the seats. I couldn't fucking believe it.
Dude, you
That
texted
was
me Friday, 9:34 PM. Dom texted me, Ryan McMahon hit a home run. I can't believe it.
yep. Can't believe it. I was in shock. And then another thing that I was shocked about was Ryan Weathers threw a gem.
Yeah.
7 and 7 and a third, 5 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 8 Ks. So this is showing you what you're gonna see the whole year.
Mhm.
That's exact that first game, I mean, that game
Mhm.
against the Angels, that stat line,
Mhm.
and that stat line against the Royals. That is exactly what you're gonna see all season long.
That
And
is the
I have a lot of
most
agita because of it.
that's the most inconsistent stat line anybody could ever have.
Yep.
That is that
But
is volatility in a nutshell.
but the good thing is Cole and Rodon are gonna come back at
Mhm.
some point.
Yeah.
So it seems like we're really not going to see later on Weathers starting. He might get sent to the bullpen, which I wouldn't mind. He can throw hard, and he's not gonna be throwing for long periods, maybe 1 to 3 innings, and that's it. And honestly, I'm okay with that. But,
Mhm.
the bats woke up in both series. Defense still needs some work, especially when it comes to the pitching side. But hopefully when Cole and Rodon come back, it'll be looking better. And like I've said, I'm still not optimistic with Rodon. Before the season started, I didn't think Cole was gonna really be there, but the fact that he was throwing 99 in spring training definitely woke me up a bit. So you never know what could happen with Cole, but we're still not all healthy either. People are seeming to forget that. So this is just the start, and I know it does suck because I'm sure everyone thought the Royals were going to be an amazing team, like a top team right now, and they're playing awful. But at least we got the bad side of them, and then now we're going to play against Boston and Houston the next series, 2 series, and Boston has been playing terrible, but Houston is for real. Altuve is looking like someone from 3 years ago, and Jordan Alvarez, if he's healthy, he could win the MVP.
Mhm.
So we're gonna have a lot of challenges ahead of us, and it's gonna be battles for sure.
The Yankees right now, I would say they're slowly putting it together. They have their mini spurts of kind of being out of it and unorganized and sloppy, but for the most part, they're trying to put it all together and the pieces are slowly fitting. I clearly can't say the same for the Mets. I mean, they're falling apart every game. The only thing and really the last thing I'll say about the Mets, and then I'm kind of done with the MLB. I'll let Dom wrap up whatever he wants to say. With the rate that they're going, Mets are going to be on a major sell off by the trade deadline. They're going to look to trade a lot of people, pitchers, hitters, maybe a young prospect or two. Who knows? But right now, it looks like the Mets are going to be heavy sellers by the trade deadline. So that's really all I have to say regarding the Mets and the MLB. Dom, you can say whatever else you want to say before we move on.
This is just my weekly George Lombard Jr. rant. He
Mhm.
hit a absolute fucking rocket against Zach Wheeler, uh, in the minors yesterday, 105 miles an hour. Do I
Looking good.
do I need to say any more?
No.
I mean, what's his name's not doing that great. Spencer Jones. He's been striking out,
Mm,
but you know, I mean, I didn't even mention that Trent Grisham. He played good in those 2 series,
yep.
but there's better options for a leadoff man.
Mhm.
You know, if I know that he's not doing that great right now, but can you blame Paul Goldschmidt for not playing that great when he barely plays? No.
No.
If he was in the lineup consistently, he should be the leadoff man. That's number 1. Number 2, if you fucking called up George Lombard Jr., he can be the leadoff man right now.
Mhm.
He can be the leadoff man immediately. I mean, it's just the lineups too are just not good. And
Yeah.
they'll never will be when it comes to Aaron Boone being the manager, or if the analytics department is telling him to make the lineup, or whoever the hell is telling him what to do. It's just not gonna work.
Mhm.
It's nice to see when we win, but there's no consistency in anything. Our hitting, our pitching, our lineups, our coaching, nothing.
Mm.
That's why we really haven't done shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously we went to the World Series 2 years ago, but I mean, if there was just a little more consistency in everything, every aspect of the game, we could have won that series
Yeah.
against the Dodgers, no matter how
Yeah.
stacked of a team they had. But
Mhm.
consistency, consistency, consistency. You know, I'm happy we won. We won games. You know, we swept the team, but it's going to take a lot for me to be actually impressed with this team, and especially
Mm.
that we brought back the entire team.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we could have made moves, you know, but we didn't. So,
Okay.
but let's just see how we do. I mean, it's gonna be a rivalry against the Red Sox no matter how good or bad they are. It's gonna be a
Mhm.
close series, but I'm really excited to see us against the Astros and see what we can do against them.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot that we've seen for both the Mets and the Yankees, good, bad, awful, and it's only April 20th, so it's still very early in the season. So we have a lot more games to watch, and Mets can try to right the ship. Yankees obviously still have room for improvement. We'll see what happens down the road. Still a lot more baseball left to play. So that's everything with the MLB. Now we move on to the last league, and that's the NFL. The NFL draft is this Thursday night. It's in Pittsburgh. Very curious to see what the Giants do now with, of course, the news coming out recently with Dexter Lawrence getting traded and the Giants getting their 10th overall pick now with their 5th overall pick, of course, coming with how they ended the 2025-26 season. So Dom, you can go first. You can give your analysis on the draft for the Giants and what you think they should do, or at least what you have been reading from other analysts on what they project they'll do. So you have the floor on the Giants, pal.
I mean, from the projections of a possible Dexter Lawrence trade, which a trade did happen, like I said last week, it was supposed to be a projected late first round or early second rounder for Dexter Lawrence. And then when he finally got traded to the Cincinnati Bengals for the number 10th pick, I was in shock.
Hmm.
I think every single fan was. I mean, for someone who's almost 30, I think he's 29, someone who had a bad year last year, I don't think it's gonna be like the start of a decline for him, but that's what people are think. Well, they don't know because they don't even watch the fucking games, these analysts. So he's not gonna decline. But the fact that we got a first round pick that's top 10 is insane. It's rare, really rare to see someone who's almost 30 for a defensive tackle get traded for the number 10 pick. That's number one. Number two, you know, great we have the number 10 pick, but it sucks that we lost Dexter Lawrence. And now who the fuck is going to play in the middle of the interior line for the
I don't
defense?
know.
Now we officially have the worst run defense in the league, right? You can't question me on that. We do. I don't care about what other team. I don't even care if you say the Jets. We're worse than them with the run defense.
Mm,
It's bad, very bad now. And it's not like with the number 10 pick that we're going to draft a D tackle. That's not happening, right? So now we have the 5th and 10th pick. From what I think, I mean, I don't have no inside information or whatever. I wish I did, but I don't. For the number 5th pick, it's going to be a defensive player, and it seems like it's going to be either Sonny Styles or Caleb Downs. And it's someone that John Harbaugh had the blessing to have two really legendary players in both those positions. And when it comes to Sonny Styles, Ray Lewis, and then 2 players for the safety is Kyle Hamilton and Ed Reed.
Mhm.
So, I've been thinking for about ever since this trade, who the hell they could possibly take. And I'm just gonna stop stressing myself over it, and I'm gonna say that I trust John Harbaugh.
Mhm.
And Joe Shane is a puppet and has no power in anything anymore. But when it comes to that Dexter Lawrence situation, what is his name? What is his agent's name, Dexter Lawrence? It
Mhm.
is Joel Seagal, right? He forbid to do any contract negotiations with Joe Shane,
Mhm.
and he forbid John Harbaugh from speaking directly to Dexter Lawrence. You want to know why? Because if John Harbaugh talked to Dexter Lawrence, the agent would have been afraid that he would change his mind and want to stay with the Giants,
Mhm.
according to Paul Schwartz. This is where this information came from.
Mhm.
And honestly, with John Harbaugh, he probably would have convinced him to stay. But you know what? You can think of the negatives of what I said. The negatives being that now we have no defensive lineman, no one that could stop the run, no one on the inside that can pressure us. But also at the same time, Dexter Lawrence got an extension. He had 2 years left on the deal with us, and then he got a 1-year extension for $28 million.
Mhm.
So that's a good thing that we don't have to pay him anymore, right?
Mhm.
But when it comes to draft picks, it's all scratch off tickets, right? That's what it is.
Yeah.
We can't be like, oh, fuck yeah. Like, we got the 10th pick. Like, good shit, Joe Shane. You know what I mean? Like, no, like, we drafted, what was this, 2, 3 years ago, 5th and 7th, Kayvon Thibodeau, he's been on and off.
Mhm.
And then with the number 7th pick, Evan Neal, who doesn't even fucking play,
Yeah.
right? So no
Mhm.
matter what, and also we traded last year for the 25th pick and we got Jackson Dart. And it seems like that he's going to be a great pick.
Yeah.
But none of this shit matters if the number 10 pick is god awful, right? And speaking of the number 10 pick, no other team has spent more time with wide receiver from Arizona State, Jordan Tyson. No other team has besides the Giants. They have spent the
Mhm.
most time with them, and it seems like they're really interested.
Okay.
So from the predictions, it seems like they're going defense and then offense second.
Mhm.
But when it comes to Jordan Tyson, there is a lot of things to be concerned about him. He's really shifty, right? He's shifty. He can move. He's quick, but there's a whole bunch of injury history. I'll read it right now. 2022 in Colorado, suffered a torn ACL, MCL, and PCL in his knee.
My God.
Sidelined him for all of 2023.
Sheesh.
2024, he ended up in Arizona State, broke his clavicle/collarbone, which caused
Mhm.
him to miss the end of the season and the college football playoff. And then last year for Arizona State again, missed 3 games with a hamstring injury that persisted into the 2026 pre-draft process, preventing him from participating in combine drills.
Mhm.
That doesn't seem like a safe pick to me, no matter how electric and the big upside that he could possibly have. And then I watched some of his highlights. He doesn't really have like breakaway speed, and he doesn't really have any like yards after catch metrics at all. He's not separating from corners. He doesn't have burst out speed. I mean, yeah, he can. I'm sure he's really good with the 50-50 balls up in the air, trying to moss people or whatever, but that's all that he has. And I mean, I know this is sort of BS, but like how there's those Twitter doctors, right, that have like 300,000 followers and whatever, and they follow every
Yeah.
single injury in sports, right? And there's this like one popular doctor on there think his name's Dr. Jesse something that has like 300,000 followers, that he was concerned about how Jordan Tyson moves when it comes to him shifting and it comes to him juking out players and stuff, and how the way his leg moves, that it could be potential high risk for injury.
Uh,
And he already torn his ACL, MCL, and PCL once already. And it seems like he can do it again. So, I mean, with all those red flags, you know, obviously with the big upside, I wouldn't want that, especially that we do need a receiver, but get a more safer option at receiver. Or if you don't want to go the receiver route, you can always get more linemen because you never know what could happen.
yeah.
I hate to say it, but people seem to forget that Andrew Thomas has been pretty injury prone his past couple of years.
Well, that yeah, and he's got his Liz Frank injury, which is never easy to recover from.
Never easy to recover from.
No.
With that 10th overall pick, we can get an O lineman, from Miami, who's expected to be the first offensive lineman off the board,
Mhm.
Francis Mauigoa. Can't believe
Mhm.
I pronounced that right. I had to look it up before.
Good for
But
you.
I know, right?
Uh,
There's only one concern, but sorta not really.
mm.
He has a herniated disc in his back, right? But he got it checked out and is considered asymptomatic. So if that's the case, then hey, pick him anyway. You know what I mean? If it's
So
asy
n- hold on. So he's got a herniated disc, but it's asymptomatic.
Yep, that's what
So
the
it's
report
there.
said.
He just doesn't feel pain.
Yeah, there's no symptoms of it, and it doesn't
Huh.
seem like it's gonna get worse. So
I've never
if
heard of
he's
that.
feeling all right, I mean, me neither, but that's what
Uh,
I've read in multiple articles.
hmm.
So
Interesting.
if that's the case, draft him anyway. And
Okay.
he mostly played right tackle for Miami, as Chris well knows, but he can also play on the inside too. He can play guard as well. And you never know, you can move Illuminor around maybe if you want to move him from right tackle, put Francis there, or leave him and then put Francis in at the guard, which I'd
Yeah.
rather do honestly.
Right. Me too.
But
Yeah.
I mean, let's just say for some reason if Andrew Thomas gets hurt, you can put Francis on the left side. I mean,
Right.
God only knows how good that will be. We don't want another Eric Flowers situation, but I don't think I think this guy's way more talented than Eric Flowers was back then. So,
Hmm.
but obviously this is all predictions, right? We don't know shit. I don't have any inside information. I wish I did. But I think the main priority is to focus on the defense to get better and then get a weapon for Jackson Dart, whether it's offensive line or receiver. If I was a GM, honestly, I just love cornerbacks. I would draft the best corner available, especially considering that we don't have any corners really that are
Yeah.
good. But clearly, I'm not the GM or head coach or whatever, so that's not going to happen. It seems like they're going to go either the linebacker or safety route for that fifth pick. And honestly, like I said, I trust Sean Harbaugh, and whoever he picks out of Sonny Styles or Caleb Downs, I'll be okay with it.
Yeah. There's a certain way that I feel like the Jets should go too, and it kind of. I mean, it's pretty much the same way as the Giants. Going defense, offense, and then defense too. It's kind of how I see it as well. I mean, in terms of the Jets, they have the second and 16th first round picks. I know I wanted the Jets to take a wide receiver very early, but it looks like right now Arvell Reese, or I forget his first name, but Bailey. I mean, I'm going to be looking into it a bit here. Arvell Reese just definitely looks like he's going to be selected for the second pick. A lot of analysts and insiders are taking the Jets to draft Arvell Reese. The Jets should really look to trade out for a wide receiver with their 16th overall pick, maybe like a Carnell Tate. I know I said Chris Brazell the second. Carnell Tate is 6'2", 192 pounds. Uh, Brazell is taller. He's 6'4". He's a little bit heavier. He's around 200 pounds. But they need a tall, big body wide receiver alongside Garrett Wilson, who is not the same height as Chris Brazell, and he's also not as big either. He's pretty lanky, pretty thin. and we said throughout the whole football season that Garrett Wilson needs to beef up a bit. A lot of people were saying it to me as well. I mean, right now Garrett Wilson is 183 pounds, only 6 feet tall. Like you need somebody else alongside him. That's literally how you should set it up with how the Jets did it in 2015 with Eric Decker and Brandon Marshall. And look, they were one win away from making the playoffs. That was now 11 years ago. But they need to get another wide receiver. And I just think they really should look at that in the draft and try to trade up for it. Then they obviously have the 33rd pick in the second round early. That's where maybe they should look at potentially a cornerback because just like the Giants, the Jets don't have a solid cornerback, right? With trading away Sauce Gardner for all those picks and not really having another good option on the corner. The defense for the Jets is just not looking good. I don't care who they picked up in the offseason in the free agency pool, just not looking very solid. So from what I was reading before we started this episode, in terms of the mock drafts and the roundup from the Athletic, okay, their experts are projecting the Jets draft picks here. Dane Brugler, number 2 pick in the draft, edge rusher Arvell Reese, Ohio State, a pass rusher, be it Reese or David Bailey, appears to be the Jets' favorite. Reese isn't a tweener. He is a whatever you want him to be, edge rusher. He could set an edge, play off, or be a full-time pass rusher. That type of hybrid skill set can be utilized. Then number 16, they said Makai Lemon. I think he'd be a good pick, but I still would try to trade up for Carnell Tate or Chris Brazell II. The Jets not having a player with more than 400 receiving yards last season still blows my mind. I agree. Lemon doesn't have elite size or speed. I mean, why? I'm not really looking for the Jets to take him. But he is extremely quarterback friendly with his route manipulation and toughness. Then they said number 33, here you go, cornerback Avion Terrell from Clemson. Number 44 pick, defensive tackle Caleb Banks out of Florida, who looks pretty solid, and I think he fits right in a second-round pick. Some even think that he should be a late first round, but we'll see. They're saying number 103 pick in the draft, QB Drew Aller out of Penn State. Then obviously the rest of the picks, running back, guard, defensive line, linebacker. Adam Rank from NFL.com, number 2 pick. He went with Carnell Tate out of Ohio State. He went wide receiver early. The fantasy guy has already lost his mind! Exclamation point. I get it. But listen here, Jets, you need more playmakers. Having Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall is a great start, but giving Geno Smith something else to work with puts him in a position to succeed this fall. I wouldn't draft a safety with this top 10 pick. I mean, Dom, you were saying that, right, recently with the Giants. Either because, well, that didn't work out so well last time for Gang Green. If the Jets aren't going to contend this season, they should at least be interesting. Go score some points. They also said a number 2 pick could also be safety Caleb Downs out of Ohio State. I know it's ridiculous to think that a talent like Downs, who I've seen go as high as number 2 overall in some mocks, is going to last until the middle of the first round. I'm with Dom. I would not draft a freaking safety in the top 10. Not a chance. And definitely not number 2. So I thought that was laughable. Mel Kiper has edge rusher David Bailey as the number 2 pick out of Texas Tech. Then he has Omar Cooper Jr. out of Washington for the number 16th pick. Again, I just feel like Mel Kiper is drinking a lot of small batch bourbons when he's doing this sometimes. I don't know why you would. I just don't think Omar Cooper Jr. is good enough. After going defense at number 2, this is what Mel Kiper Jr. had to say. After going defense at number 2 with David Bailey Jr., or I'm sorry, just David Bailey, the Jets should take a look at the receiver class at number 16. Just look at the depth chart. There's Garrett Wilson coming off a knee injury, and then Adonai Mitchell, Isaiah Williams. No one on this team hit 400 receiving yards last season, and the Jets still haven't added another receiver this spring. It won't matter if it's Geno Smith, Ty Simpson, or Joe Namath under center. If the Jets can't find more pass-catching threats, Cooper had 937 yards and 13 touchdowns last season. Tom Fornelli from CBS Sports, number 2 pick. He has edge Arvell Reese. And then he's saying mock trade with Houston Texans. So he's saying trading away the number 16th pick to go down to number 28. And I'm assuming picking up other draft picks potentially. They're saying take the cornerback Avion Terrell out of Clemson. After moving down in a swap with the Texans, the Jets are still able to address their secondary with Terrell. Getting Reese Terrell and a few extra picks makes for a great first night of the draft. Fox Sports, Rob Rang, number 2 pick. He went with Carnell Tate as well. Also taking a wide receiver to start out. Garrett Wilson was the only receiver currently on the Jets roster to catch a touchdown pass in 2025. And make no mistake, the 10th overall pick of the 2022 draft was hardly dominant last year, scoring just 4 times. Obviously, improved play at quarterback is also required, but there isn't a QB in the NFL who could be successful with the Jets' current anemic receiving core, Geno Smith included. So, number 16th pick, edge rusher TJ Parker out of Clemson is what Rob Rang suggested, or he is projecting, I should say. But a couple of guys picking wide receiver early. I mean, I said this and I had a couple of people laughing at me. What do you not understand? The offense was brutal to watch all season. I was saying this week after week. Didn't matter that Justin Fields was under center. Garrett Wilson wasn't really getting open. Why? Yes, his play wasn't looking great, granted, but he was getting double covered. So you have to have another big body guy. I still like Chris Brazell II. Yeah, maybe his stats aren't as flashy as, say, a Carnell Tate, but you still got to do something. So them picking Carnell Tate for the number 2 pick, no, it doesn't surprise me because that's even what I put out weeks ago. So the Jets have to get a wide receiver. I wouldn't be surprised if they still go Arvell Reese, and then maybe they trade up for possibly Carnell Tate or Chris Brazell or somebody of those of that caliber, looking for some sort of talent. I mean, I know they also obviously put out Mekhi Lemon. He's 6'2", 192. That could still be a threat. He's taller than Garrett Wilson. He's bigger than him. So we'll see. And then again, with pick number 33 in the second round, I would go with a cornerback. So kind of close to the same route that the Giants could potentially do, or even what Dom thinks the Giants should do, going that kind of route tree with the draft. So that's kind of how I see it. The Jets have a ton of picks. They got more picks in the coming years, of course. We're trading away Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams, but this is a start with the 2nd pick and the 16th pick. We'll see what they do, but they got to be smart because they weren't that active in the free agency pool this spring. They got to do a lot, and they really have to show that they not just that they're trying to be a winning culture. That's going to take some time. They're going to have to go quarterback with however they finish this season with Geno Smith for 2027 draft, but they got to show some competence in this draft because competence is really running at a premium over at One Jets Drive. So they're going to have to show it in this draft. It's going to be very important. So that's everything that I have to say so far with the Jets.
So apparently on the Rich Eisen show about an hour ago, Tom McShay was on talking, and he
Mm-hmm.
said, I thought it was Sonny Styles at 5 for the Giants. Apparently it may not be. Then Rich Eisen said, that's all I'm hearing is that the Giants don't want Sonny Styles. That word is on the street.
Huh. Hmm.
You know, this is different. This is like a different scenario, right? From what I'm about to say. But I always imagined when it was the Jalen Ramsey and Ezekiel Elliott draft, right?
Yep.
And the Cowboys could have picked either Jalen Ramsey or Zeke Elliott, right? And in my head, I'm like, if they get Jalen Ramsey, like the division, maybe even the conference is screwed
Mm-hmm.
because the Giants, the Cowboys have an amazing offensive line already,
Right.
right? I'm not saying the Giants have an amazing offensive line, right? But the Giants, they're good. They were in the middle of the pack last year. They were like 15th, right?
Yeah.
So literally in the middle. So it's perfectly fine. The Yankees, the Giants are not getting Jeremiah Love. That's not happening, and
Yeah.
apparently it might not even happen with Sonny Styles. So the things that I can think of are Caleb Downs, and maybe if that's the word they're spreading, maybe it's true, maybe it's not, that they don't want Sonny Styles, maybe they might go for corner and get the guy from LSU, Mansour Delaney,
Mm,
right?
yes.
These are his stats. He had 45 total tackles, 28 solo, 13 passes defended, 11 pass breakups, and 2 picks. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Like, just picture
Yeah.
this. Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, and then you have that edge set, and
Right.
then you have also Micah McFadden's gonna come back, and he's a pretty damn good player, even though he's not really healthy for it, but when he's on the field, he's good. So hopefully that he can take care of that, like the linebacker situation. You know, Kayvon can play anywhere, Abdul Carter can play anywhere when it comes to linebackers. And then you have a lockdown corner, someone like Delaney, however the fuck you say his name. Like,
Uh-huh.
that's a good situation right there.
Yeah.
Plus, the Giants, they signed 2 safeties this offseason. One of them
Mhm.
being former Giant, Jason Pinnock.
Mhm.
If they sign 2 of them this offseason, are they gonna get a 3rd one? I don't know. But not the GM, but I would love to get a cornerback. And then offense, if it's another receiver than Jordan Tyson, I'll take him. But you can never go wrong with a good offensive line, especially to support Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo. So,
Yeah.
see how the draft goes. But then the last thing I'm gonna say about the Giants is, Chris, I don't know if you heard this, but Odell Beckham Jr. was in the facility today,
Here we go. My Lord help me.
working out with the team and performed the physical.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So hey, they're not
Yeah.
doing this for no reason. So it's possible we might get OBJ back. Then I can whip out my jersey again, which I haven't worn
Yeah.
in. But
I read it on Twitter during my very short break today at work. We were very busy. But yeah, I read it and I was like, this is like almost laughable. I was like, this guy's trying to be back with Big Blue. Who knows? You know what? Screw it. Why not? Give it a
yeah,
shot.
just
What do you got
fuck
to lose? It's like,
vet
why
minimum.
not?
There you go,
Yeah,
1 year.
exactly.
Yeah, it goes
Just do it. Whatever.
better than
Yep.
Jalen Hyatt. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Please. What a disappointment, man. Insane.
And
But yeah,
also to say
uh-huh.
about your Jets thing real quick with Garrett Wilson,
Uh-huh.
I'm also 183 pounds. So that's pretty pathetic that he's
Mhm.
183 pounds.
Yeah, well, and he's 6 feet tall. I
Yep.
mean, yeah,
I'm that I am not 6 foot.
that's why they need another they need a big body wide receiver. It's imperative. But in terms of the Jets, they need work. Their safety position is not great. You know, their linebacker position is not strong. I don't care that they got Demario Davis. The man's a goddamn fossil. They don't have a solidified corner. You know, if they get an edge rusher of Arvell Reese or David Bailey, okay, great. But their defensive line is not very strong. They have a lot of holes. And of course, you know, this is going to be another developmental task that they have on their hands for the next 2, 3 drafts. And then, of course, they don't have AVT anymore. They got to try to figure out still the offensive line situation. They need another wide receiver too. Let's see what happens with Brees Hall. I still think it's up in the air, even though they franchise tagged them. I mean, we'll see. But they have a lot of things to fix. But that's typical Jets fashion. They always have things to fix. They never have anything solved. It's always, what do we got to do next to fix this? It's insane that this has been going on. And I just want to put it out there. The Buffalo Sabres won a playoff game yesterday, and they're in the playoffs, which now leaves the New York Jets, the last
Yep.
North American sports team to not be in the playoffs. Congrats.
Good job, guys.
Congratulations.
Good job.
So, just want to leave it on that note. So that's everything now with the NFL. And now we're going to do take a seat, let's predict. We're obviously going to start with our coveted Knicks. They play the Hawks tonight, game 2 at MSG. Then they play game 3 at State Farm Arena in Atlanta Thursday night. They get 2 days off, which is nice. Kind of very much happy about that, and I'll be really happy about it if they win tonight. Game 4 at State Farm Arena on Saturday night, and then the next game is not until next Tuesday. They have another 2 games off, which, of course, makes sense with all the traveling purposes going from Atlanta to New York. So, Dom, give your predictions for these 3 games tonight, Thursday night, and Saturday night. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna say we win tonight.
Okay.
In game 3, we're gonna lose,
Yep.
and then game 4 we'll win.
I'm going the same exact route. And the reason why I'm going that route, folks, is because, and you can leave your comments below for your own predictions, as always. We love to read them. Tonight, I think the Knicks really have to try to step on their throat, but I said this before the series started. I said it last week. Young guys, especially guys who don't have a lot of playoff experience, they always play off the crowd. They always do better at home. That's just how it is. Until you're a veteran playing in X amount of games in the playoffs, you're not going to play that great on the road. And you saw Okongwu and Jalen Johnson. The connection was not there. Communication was not there with a lot of the young guys. CJ McCollum, I feel like he was in his own island because he was really the only veteran presence that they have. And
Yeah.
I was watching an Instagram reel, and I forget his name, but he is hilarious. His first name is Mike. I got to try to find
Oh,
it.
the guy that screams, right?
Oh my God, he is
He's so
hilarious.
funny. He
I
is
gotta
so
find,
funny.
dude, he is hilarious. I gotta find, here he is, Mike Dodino, and he was just so damn funny. Oh, look, he put out a reel about how bad the Mets are. I can't wait to watch that. But he was talking about the trade with Luke Kennard and Gabe Vincent. I mean, man, was he spot on with that. What a terrible trade the Atlanta Hawks did. I mean, Luke Kennard was lighting it up for the Lakers the other night against the Rockets, and Gabe Vincent looked terrible on Saturday. His shooting, his defense, everything. And I think he almost rolled his ankle on top of it all. But I honestly think that the young players are going to feed off the fans. I agree with Dom. I think the Knicks lose game 3 and then they win game 4 to try to really just put it on a 3-1 series lead and then hopefully wrap it up game 5 at home. But we'll give our prediction for game 5 at MSG next episode, which would obviously be recording next Monday, out next Tuesday evening before game 5 starts. But that's for the Knicks predictions. Of course, Dom goes win, loss, win, and I go the same way. Game 2 win at MSG, game 3 loss at Atlanta, and game 4 win at Atlanta before they fly back home for game 5 at MSG. Dom, you go first. Yankees at Red Sox for 3 games starting tomorrow night, and then at Houston Astros for 3 games to wrap up the week. What's your weekly prediction for the Yanks?
I think we're gonna go 2-1 against the Red Sox, and then 1-2 against the Astros. So it'll be 3-3 for the 6 games. The Astros just look too damn good right
Mm-hmm.
now with Yordan Alvarez being healthy. He's crushing everything. Altuve is looking great, looking like himself from like 3, 4 years ago. I mean, Carlos Correa is still on the team. You still got young guys. You got the new Japanese pitcher and Tetsuya Amai that's pitching, looking
Mm-hmm.
good. They have a great bullpen. And when it comes to the Red Sox, they look terrible. But it's always a rivalry game when it comes to the Yankees against Red Sox, of course. And I don't know, a sweep just sounds too good to be true to me. It seems like they might fuck a game up, and I mean the way the Yankees have been inconsistent, I wouldn't be surprised. So I'll go 3-3 on the 6 games.
Okay. So for the Mets, I'm going to say they actually break their 11-game losing streak because Nolan McLean's on the mound and they go up against Woods Richardson, who has a 6.1 ERA for the Twins. If you can't win that game tomorrow, do me a favor, just give up the rest of the season. Because if you can't win that game, then I don't know what the fuck you're going to do for the rest of the year. So
Yeah,
I say
yeah.
they win that game. I am also going to say they actually win 2 in a row, I'm going to say. So they go 2-1 on the series against the Twins. But then the Rockies, I mean, they just beat the Dodgers back to back yesterday and Saturday, which really makes the Mets look like absolute dog shit. Let's be real. So, and it's funny, Colorado has Jose Quintana, and the Mets are going to be facing him Saturday night. So 2-1 against the Twins, which then leaves me to say against the Rockies. I'm going to say they go 2-1 with both series, and they go 4-2 on the week. If Nick's listening to this, my brother, there's your positivity, my friend. Going 4-2 on the week and breaking their 11-game losing streak. How about it? Write it down, jot it down, put down the date next to it so that I can go back to this when you tell me we're too negative on the pod. There you go, buddy. We're going to be 4-2 on the week.
Yeah. BK, you know who you are. You've also told me I was negative about the Knicks. I mean, we're real. Like I told you, we're real. Shout out BK though. Shout out my
Is
guy
that
B.
the Burger King owner or who's BK?
My boy Brian.
Got it.
I call him BK though.
Does he like Burger King or just that's his first and last name?
First and last name.
Got it. Got it. It's a pretty good nickname. I kind of like it, but just wondering who it was. All right. So there's your predictions for baseball and basketball for the week. Now, Dom, episode wrap up. Anything you have to say before I wrap up today's episode?
I would technically, clearly, for everyone who's been listening to me talk about the draft, I would rather a linebacker or a corner. But you know what? This is a new regime. This is a head coach, also general manager, which he technically is, making all the decisions. And he has made phenomenal decisions in his coaching career and has also had great players, and he knows how to point out great players. So at this point, I'm putting all of my trust in John Harbaugh, and whoever he picks, I'll be okay with. He knows what he's doing. As much as I wouldn't want a safety, right? Number 5 or even number 10. But if he thinks that he's going to be a legend and somewhere near Ed Reed or a Kyle Hamilton type player, then take him.
Mhm.
Sonny Styles, I mean, from what we just read about the Rich Eisen show, maybe that's smoke, maybe it's not. But like I said, John Harbaugh, if you like him, take him.
Mhm.
And, it's all up to you. And with the Knicks, obviously, you got to be more aggressive, even though everyone had a good game last game. We're going to need to be better because the Hawks are going to be way better this game than they were
Mhm.
last game. So everyone has to step the hell up, honestly. I don't
Uh-huh.
care. I mean, even Jalen Brunson, what, he was like 9 of 22, right? Like that
Yeah.
can't happen.
Yeah.
It can't happen at all. Only 9 points from the second, third, and fourth quarter, only 9 points. That's not okay, even though you had the best start in franchise history, but
The
still,
playoffs.
that's not okay.
Yeah.
Cat, stop fucking fouling. Please. Just
Yeah.
please stop fouling. I'm begging you. And then when it comes to the Yankees, Ryan McMahon, I'm not expecting shit of you, but I'm proud of you. Good job. I hope you never play another game again, but you are gonna play what sucks, so I gotta deal with it. Jazz, play better so we can trade you.
Wow.
Ben
I was
Rice, Ben Rice, you're doing great. You are having the best year of your career. Very happy for you. Aaron Judge, bring that batting average up a little bit. And Brian Weathers, I'll see you in the bullpen very soon.
I was just thinking, Dom said nothing about Jazz. That is crazy. Once I thought of that, you immediately said his name. I was like, we didn't mention Jazz Chisholm today.
Nope.
Oh, that's
I have
funny. All right.
one send off.
That's nice. Nice little wrap up by Dom. For me, the Mets, I'm going to treat this as a 3-year-old trying to walk. Let's do baby steps. Okay. Let's win and score some runs on Tuesday. So the 11-game losing streak ends and we're not making negative historic records here. Okay. We already tied. Let's not break it now. Okay. Bear with me. Let's score some runs. Let's pitch well so we can win on Tuesday and then go from there. I'll just leave it at that. The Knicks bench has got to defend better. Got to stay out of foul trouble. Cat, Brunson, Hart, the 3 guys that I mentioned about foul trouble and complaining about fouls. They were even doing a little bit of it on Saturday. I didn't even mention it. They were doing a little bit of it, not as much as the regular season, but they were doing a little bit of it. I'm sure Mike Brown got on their ass before the series started. But they got to stay out of foul trouble. The bench got to do better on defense. And please utilize Mitchell Robinson and do the pick and roll and throw him some alley-oops and test out that short defense in terms of height that the Atlanta Hawks have. Use it to your advantage. That's what the Knicks need to do, and they got to come out hungry and really put the foot on the Atlanta Hawks' throat in tonight's Game 2 matchup, and that starts, at 8 o'clock tonight. And then, lastly, the Jets. If you want to take Orville Reese at number 2, that's fine. You need an edge rusher with now JJ being traded. All you have now is Will McDonald. If you want to take Orville Reese or David Bailey, that's fine, but please either draft a wide receiver at 16 or trade up for one. For the love of God, you need a wide receiver too, and you got to get it done this Thursday. I got to see something because you did not do enough. Of course, no shocker, in the spring with the free agency. And whoever you picked up wasn't cutting it. You signed fossils, just like DeMario Davis on defense. And the only good thing you really did, so far at least, is franchise tag Breece Hall. So you got to do well in the draft. And that's really everything I got to say. Dom, how about you? Are you good to go?
We all good here.
All right, great. Sounds good. And don't forget, the live right after the Knicks-Hawks game tonight. But it's out already. Of course, this recording is going to be out tomorrow evening. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you to everyone for tuning into today's episode of the FTB podcast on either YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Be sure to like this episode and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss any of our shows. See you folks on Tuesday. Peace.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.